A very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on today's live broadcast. I'm here to give us the details concerning everything that's been going on in our country over the last couple of hours. We have available reports that the Kano state government is presenting an appointed letter to the newly reinstated Emir of Kano, Alhaji Muhammad Sanusi. He arrived at the Kano state government house to officially receive his appointment letter and resume work as the sole first-class Emir of the state. Newsmen gathered that the Emir arrived at Kano late Thursday and had a low-key homecoming reception that was organized for him as a result of security advice. And all is set for the much-anticipated event that will usher the Emir to his first outing in the public since his reinstatement. He is expected to be at the Africa House in Kanu Government House for a mini Duba ceremony today by 10 a.m. from where he would proceed to the Nasarawa's Emir's Palace. The Emir would then proceed to lead the Jumat Friday prayers at the Kano Central Mosque located at the palace in Kofa Kudu. And this is particularly interesting because it is going on, not minding the fact that there are reports of, a government, a court reinstatement saying that it is barring the government of Kano State from reinstating Sanusi. He emerged with the following reports that a federal high court sitting in Abuja has granted an ex parte order stopping the Kano State government from reinstating Emir Mohammed Sanusi II. According to the reports by Daily Nigerian, Justin Liman gave this order yesterday night, despite the fact that he's reportedly in the United States. The case was filed by a traditional title holder, the Sakin Dawaki Baba, and this is granting the order. The judge granted the leave to the plaintiff and applicants and offered them to serve the concurrent originating motion as well as other court processes on the 6 defendants, who happens to be the Inspector General of Police in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and outside the jurisdiction of the Honorable Courts. Part of the statement reads that parties are hereby ordered to maintain a status quo ante the passage and assent of the bill into pending hearing of the fundamental rights application. He also proceeds in this suit to say that in view of the constitutional and jurisdictional issues apparent on the face of this application, parties shall address the courts on same at the hearing of the fundamental rights application, which is fixed for the 3rd of June 2024. He also said that in order to maintain peace and security of the state, an interim injunction of this honorable court is granted restraining the respondents from enforcing, executing and implementing and operationalizing the Kano State Emirate Law Council repeal law. He also proceeds to say that parties of this, involved in this are actually hereby ordered to maintain a status quo and to wait till the assent of the bill is into pending and the hearing of the fundamental human rights application. The judge therefore adjourned the case to the 3rd of June 2024 for hearing of the fundamental rights application. And this is particularly as much as we can take concerning the new reinstatement of the Emir of Kano. But that is really besides it. We're going to bring more concerning this report as information is made available to us. And we're going to be having conversations on the implications of this new reinstatement later today on the show with Mr. Kanu. But moving on, we have His Excellency Peter Obi that has actually been in the US over the last couple of weeks, right, where he was doing his thank you tour. And this is coming from Washington, right? Dr. Mo took to his X-handle to talk about the impact of the question and answer session that happened in Washington. And so Washington was a game changer. And His Excellency Peter Obi, while in his tour of the US, the man of the moment received a warm welcome that cooled and melted the hearts of the coldest. The event was a masterpiece with fun phases that left everyone in attendance grinning from ear to ear. The question and answer session was like a deep dive into an ocean of wisdom with Professor Pat Utomi by his side, sharing stories that made hearts sing. The energy in the room was electric, and His Excellency Peter Obi's perspectives and examples left everyone in awe. He shared his journey and what a ride it was, from the highs of his time as governor to the lesson learned from the elections. He bared it all in this particular question and answer session in Washington. And when he spoke about the Obidient, he was very proud. He was like a proud father talking about his children. He praised their passion, energy, and purity of heart. And we all felt seen and heard. But let's get it real, because he actually shared why he left the PDP and that it was like a breath of fresh air. He stood up for what he believed in, even when it was hard. And to be honest, that takes a lot of guts. The audience were actually particularly joyful about what happened. They cheered him on, and they were all grateful for his honesty. It was altogether a beautiful evening filled with hope and inspiration. His Excellency reminded us all that nation building is a collective effort, and we must stay focused on the bigger picture. So let's leave the political behind and work towards a brighter future. As he said, I left the PDP because there were things I wasn't happy with, and going forward we must apply the same principle to ensure that we don't go back to the old order. Washington DC will always be remembered as a night to cherish, a night that reminded everyone in attendance and all of us well-meaning Nigerians, both in diaspora and here in Nigeria, that we are all the change that we seek. And so major kudos to His Excellency Peter Obi for igniting the fire within us. Let us keep shining. Obedience. This is coming from Dr. Mo, because he was live and direct at this particular event, and he had a lot to say, and we can see pictures and images from the session that happened in Washington DC. Once again, kudos to His Excellency Peter Obi for always being the person that we can count on, and being a leader that is not so far or detached from the realities of the people he's actually leading. Well, we have a conversation. A man took to his own YouTube platform to talk about His Excellency Peter Obi. He tried to put a separation from Peter Obi as in the person, and Peter Obi the ideologies that he represented. He actually had questions to ask about how many Peter Obis we have in Nigeria currently, not talking about the person of His Excellency Peter Obi, but talking about the nurtures and the value that he stands to actually portray. He mentioned a lot that actually we thought it necessary that well-meaning Nigerians and Obidient take a listen to, because it is particularly timely, and it's a question that we need to answer for the collective good of our people. Well, that's as much as we can take on today's live broadcast. Thank you for joining us once again, but please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to this video, and also subscribe to this platform, because that's the way you can help us amplify our voice. So please go to the comment section, drop your thoughts, particularly on everything that has been going on, both the Sanusi issue and the events that happened in Washington DC. I'm going to leave us with a soundbite of what this young man said. Kudos to him, and credit to Refresh Nigeria, because that is where this video came from. Till I come your way again, thank you for joining us, and bye for now.
How many Peter Obi do we need in Nigeria? Okay, let me ask the question again. How many Peter Obi do we have in Nigeria? Can you answer that question? I know the easy answer will be, oh, there is only one Peter Obi. Another Peter Obi is a counterfeit. Yes, I'm not talking about the person of Peter Obi when I say how many Peter Obi do we need in Nigeria. There's only one person of Peter Obi. But what I mean is the personality of Peter Obi. So before I ask you that question again, and before you answer, I need to also make it clear. Who is a Peter Obi? A Peter Obi is a person who does not loot public funds. A Peter Obi is a person who reduces cost of governance. A Peter Obi is a person who does not borrow the future of a country and squander it on useless projects while looting it into private pockets. A Peter Obi is a person who leaves money behind when they leave office. A Peter Obi is a person who cares about what happens to the people, who visits them when they are in trouble. A Peter Obi is this person. Now that you know this personality, Peter Obi, how many Peter Obi do we have in Nigeria? Unfortunately, right now I can tell you there's only one person, Peter Obi, and there's only one personality, Peter Obi, that we know. Is this good for Nigeria? Is this good for the person, Peter Obi, in 2027? Will it help him win? How many Peter Obis do we need for Nigeria to succeed, for Nigeria to progress, to take Nigeria from this part of consumption, heavy consumption that we are in, into a part of production? How many Peter Obis do we need? Unfortunately, one Peter Obi cannot make a forest. We need several Peter Obis. If we're going to survive the rigging that may happen in 2027, we need more than one Peter Obis. If we're going to survive the intimidation that may happen in 2027, we need more than one Peter Obi. So, how many Peter Obi do we need? And how do we get these Peter Obis? With the qualities of Peter Obi, the personality of Peter Obi that I described, how many of such persons can you point to in the Labour Party? How many of such persons can you point to in APC or PDP? These people have all been shielded out of the political arena by policies and strategies and constitutions that have been implemented by the current political parties. So right now, the people that will not borrow your future and loot it in the name of spending it on useless projects, those people, they are just sitting back and folding their hands. They don't have the looted funds to fund the very expensive election process. They don't have it. They don't have the monies they have, are monies they have earned with their blood and their sweat, and they would rather not waste it. The politics of big money, the politics of strong individual has chased those people away from the arena of leadership. So the consequence is the resultant poor and bad and terrible leadership that we have, that we all agree is the bane of Nigeria. So how many Peter Obis can you find in AAC, in Boot Party, in Labour Party, in PRP? How many Peter Obis? Meanwhile, we need more than one Peter Obi. This is where Peter Obi himself and all well-meaning Nigerians must now come to the only location in Nigeria right now where you can find Peter Obis. And where is that location? Abundance Party of Nigeria. Abundance Party of Nigeria is the only party in Nigeria right now that has opened up the political space to everybody. In fact, to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Mechanics, plumbers, tailors, taxi drivers, Okada riders, teachers, civil servants, public servants. Abundance Party is the only party in Nigeria right now that has opened up the political space for other Peter Obis to emerge. People with integrity, people with experience, with mental capacity, people who do not have a penchant for looting, people who are not used to the lifestyle to a wasteful lifestyle. Wasteful lifestyle. Somebody has a garage. In that garage, you have several cars that are worth billions of naira. Meanwhile, in that person's local government, there is not a single factory. Wasteful lifestyle. But in the Peter Obis that we are looking for right now, they have a prudent lifestyle. How many of them can you find elsewhere? Only in Abundance Party of Nigeria. And we are still recruiting. So, if you have not joined, join now. Abundance Party of Nigeria is the only party where you have an opportunity to vie for any elective office in Nigeria without spending a dime on nomination form. Abundance Party is the only party in Nigeria right now where you have the opportunity to run for office without having to bribe delegates, because there's no need for that place. And you don't need to bribe voters because the membership register is open to all. Abundance Party of Nigeria. That is the locations where you can find the Peter Obis that we need to take Nigeria from consumption to production. The Peter Obis that will make that new Nigeria possible. So how many Peter Obis do we need? We have 176,000 polling units. Multiply that by 3 and average it. So that gives you about 600,000. We need at least 600,000 to 1 million Peter Obis to take Nigeria from the hands of these few corrupt politicians that have captured the Nigerian state and they are currently holding it by the jugular. At least 1 million Peter Obis. Right now, we don't have up to that figure. So if you know you are a Peter Obi, if you know that you have integrity, if you know that you have not benefited from the looted funds, public funds, if you know that you are interested in taking Nigeria from consumption to production, to making Nigeria great, to making Nigeria really truly great, click in the link and join the Abundance Party of Nigeria now. Let us achieve that 1 million Peter Obis and exceed it. A new Nigeria is only possible with 1 million Peter Obis. One Peter cannot do the job. One Peter Obi cannot make a forest. We need 1 million Peter Obis. These are the Peter Obis that will man the polling units. At least 3 of them per polling units. That will get and acquire the forms EC8A from all the 176,000 plus polling units in Nigeria. These are the Peter Obis that we need. And the earlier we begin to form a coalition of these Peter Obis, not a coalition of rogues. The earlier we start to form this coalition of Peter Obis, the better it will be for Nigeria. This move that Peter Obi is making, visiting Atiku, visiting Kwankwanso, and all these rumors that we are hearing that they're about to form a mega political party, it is not going to work because it's still going to be a party, a coalition of people who have looted. And those people, you can't change human nature. You can't teach old dogs new tricks. A leopard cannot change his skin. We need those Peter Obis out there to come together to form this new political party to take Nigeria to the next level. Are you a Peter Obi? Click the link now. Let's do this. It is very, very possible. Don't let anybody deceive you that it cannot be done. It can be done. In fact, it is easy when we put our numbers together. 2027, we will sack all these corrupt politicians in Nigeria. By the special grace of God, by the cooperation of you and I.